Good morning, everybody. Hope you're okay. Well done for your work on brackets. Today's our last lesson on order of operations, and we're going to learn how we're going to think about our squared and cube numbers in a calculation. Now, in maths, they're often called indices when we look at squared and cube numbers. And we need to remember that word for something I'm going to show you a little bit later on. Now, indices are when we're finding squared or cube numbers. We did a lesson on this earlier in the week, so hopefully you'll all remember what to do. So, for example, if I was to wonder what 3 squared was, I know I have to do 3 times 3 to give me 9. Likewise, if I was to look at 5 cubed, this time I think it's cubed, I've got to multiply that number by itself 3 times. So I do 5 times 5 times 5, which gives me 125. Now, the word indices is important because sometimes a squared number or a cube number might pop up into your calculation, and you need to know where it falls in the order of operations. So we use something called Bidmas. Now, Bidmas is a way of remembering the order for the operations. Now, it shows here the B stands for brackets, I for indices, which is when you're squaring or cubing numbers, D division, M multiplication, A addition, and S subtraction. And they go down in order of importance. If you have brackets, they always must be done before the rest of them. Multiplication must be done before addition and subtraction, but if there are indices in there, then they come in front. So as long as you remember Bidmas, what they stand for, you'll get the order right. I'm going to show you a couple so that you see what I mean. So here's our first question. 25 add 15 divided by 3. Now I'm going to think, right, I've got to remember Bidmas. Here they are. Here's my order. Now when I look at this sum, I'm just going to get my highlighter pen to show you. I think, right, well, here I've got part of the calculation in brackets, and that is the most important thing. So that means step 1 must be to answer the brackets. So I do 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Now I've done this part of the calculation now, so I look down and think, right, the next bit I've got to do is addition. That's step 2. And so I take the answer that I've generated from the brackets and I add it to the addition part of the sum. And that gives me the answer of 30. So in just 2 steps here, I've answered this question by using Bidmas to show the order and check the order that I need to do things. The brackets had to be done first, and then to that answer I added 25, and so I got a final answer of 30. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Now this one has got 3 different parts to it. So I'm going to get my Bidmas up again to help me. Now I'm going to think, what have I got? I've got addition in there, I've got indices, and I've got division. Now I've kind of put a little yellow line to mark them off, and I can see that the highest up the list here are indices. So I have to do this part first. So step 1 is indices. Now 4 squared, I know that 4 squared is the same as saying 4 times 4, which is 16. Now, then I'm going to look down my list because I've got 2 other operations to do here. I've got addition and I've got division. Now, division is highest in the list, and if we remember from Tuesday's lesson, division comes before addition and subtraction. So I'm going to do that as step 2. Now, I take the answer from step 1, the answer to my indices, and I then divide that by 2, which gives me an answer of 8. Now, all I've got left to do is this part. I've got to add 18. So step 3 is the addition, where I take the answer from my division, because then I've used the other 2 steps in the calculation, and I'm going to add that to 18. So that gives me a final answer of 26. So 18 and 4 squared divided by 2 is 26. Now, if we didn't do that following the rules of Bidmas, following the steps of the order and the importance, then we'd get a very different answer, and we'd all end up with different answers. But only the correct answers will be if you followed the rules of Bidmas. So for today's work, I've set you some questions, which are calculations where you've got to decide the correct order before you answer them. I recommend you keep Bidmas up in front of you, or you jot it down next to your calculations, so that you can check that you're doing the orders correctly. I haven't left you any space for working out, so I could put more questions on there, but by all means, and I really recommend that you show all your working out, do the different stages, and you'll get them all right, I am sure. Any problems, then send us a question through Class Dojo, and when you've finished, please remember to photograph your work and send it through to us. We can tick you off that you've done your work for today. Good luck, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a nice afternoon. Bye.